Hello and welcome to week 3 here at Risen Esports for the Dominate Premade League. My name is Rukthor and casting with me this evening is Tame. How you doing, mate?
Doing good. Good evening, everybody. Here we're gonna look at two teams tonight that are both 1-1 as we get right into the draft. SmonkerZ choosing to take some pretty meta bans there and also adding the Malzahar on because nobody wants to see that degenerate filth in their. Buckeyes taking out the Set, the Syndra. Syndra is definitely a comfort pick here, and Set is just immensely strong in two different roles right now. Interesting take on the Sylas. I've been trying to play Sylas lately to very bad results. I feel like his wave clear is kind of gutted right now. I'm not sure how you feel about the Sylas.
He's very all-in, like his all-in is amazing, but in terms of his sustained lane control is a little bit lackluster. Ornn first pick up here for SmonkerZ on the blue side. Very strong pick right now, just insane tankiness for the amount of damage that he can deal. Excellent in his side lane and could really turn team fights with that monstrous engage there as well. Braum up and available, so maybe that'll be used just to cancel that engage up as well. It's a very nice counter pick in that. And Aphelios here in the bot lane here for Fell. That could be a nice pick. And Banana, as you said, banned away against that Malzahar. Played that twice last week, actually.
Can never count out the possibility of something like a Yasuo as well to counter the Ornn. It's pretty amazing because Ornn has such high priority.
I might have lost Tame here for a little bit, but Sejuani second pick up here, so really tank and spank going up here. Front to back team fights coming out as well. Potentially going to see a Kale, I think, maybe in this best of 3 series. Both teams actually played that, and seems like a little bit of a niche pick here, but that'll be center, definitely going into the bot lane, either support or AD. We'll have to see. It was played last week for Sorbet, game number 2 there, which they did manage to win. And I mentioned the Kale getting Hover now, actually going to get locked in before that second drop into the Ornn. Nice scaling up there and available to him. Now banning away support, so they do definitely think that center will be going into the ADC role. Banning out mid laners here as well. Castin, very nice scaling. This is going to be all about those late game scaling team fights, being able to provide as much power to them as possible. And they don't really want Castin getting involved into Aphelios.
I am here.
Does have that limited wave clear. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I cut out there for a second or what, but I'm still here. I'm still watching. Yeah, not really surprised about the Kassadin pick there. And Kale also makes sense. It's fairly safe into Ornn as long as you don't let him clap you, as in literally clap you with his brittle passive before you get level 6. You can definitely expect Trundle to get up there because Kale also has limited mobility without her W. If you can get the W out of her, Trundle Ornn gank is basically a guaranteed kill into the Kale. However, if Kale makes it to 6, pretty safe lane, farm up, scale up, kind of outscale the Ornn, and there you can see they're taking out the Braum to counter the counter. I suppose you could say there.
Yeah, exactly. And I do really like the center, either as AD or support. I do think that particularly, I've known a lot of players to have a lot of success with Kalista into an Aphelios. So maybe you could even look to play Kalista and Senna into the bot lane. That would be very deadly, potentially. A little bit of a curveball there as well. And that safety of the Kalista ult really could get the Senna out of harm's way. But again, just skating into that late game with the Orianna, just looking for those immense shockwaves coming out. Sejuani can definitely pop that if they're looking to play aggressive, following forward onto that ultimate as well. Lots of lockdown potential here. Vladimir going to be the pickup as well. That'll be played by the Chaperone in the mid lane here as well. Again, monstrous scaling here. So we are going all about that late game, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks like Buckeyes are drafting here for a game that they're hoping to go about 50 minutes. Maybe all 5 members can take Gathering Storm. And, oh my goodness, if they're going to lock in this Yuumi, that could be filthy. With
I see Nautilus pick Nautilus here. Like go all in on this center right now. I'm feeling this team. They should play engage support. They can focus the bot lane, like Sejuani for the gank potential as well. Could be a very nice pickup.
I have a question for you, though.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a 30-plus minute Yuumi-Vladimir combination?
It's not really that fun to play against, particularly with 2 mobile carriers here with the Aphelios and Orianna. And here is the Nautilus as well. That is suggested pickup, and I'm glad that he went for that. That does mean that they'll be playing around that bot lane, really trying to shut down the center. Also means that Senna can't really come up and get free autos off onto that bot lane as well. Should mean that potentially going into that mid lane, Stolbert's going to have a little bit of a hard time cashing in those stacks. Definitely got nerfed on the HC wall as well. So if you can get out of lane with 40 stacks, that's absolutely amazing. Sometimes you can definitely get out of lane and you've only really got 17, 18 stacks, and it feels really bad. Slowly skating into that middle of the game around that sort of like 15, 25-minute mark.
And it's interesting too with like the Yuumi that stops them from doing the I'm not sure if you've seen Shakira's new strategy that pros have been doing lately with where they call it the famine Senna, where you basically start Senna off with a support item, let your support farm for the first 10 minutes because Senna will get souls as the support farms. And actually you can leave lane with 50 to 60 souls if you do that, but obviously not with a Yuumi on your team. I mean, that's you're definitely not going to see a Yuumi farming for the first 10 minutes of the game, but if you see supports like Tarek or Tom Kench, that usually works out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to see how that progresses as well. Definitely positioning of Solbert going to be paramount in this bottom wave. And lane control, just being able to freeze it in the right place as well, going to be very helpful to not really get dived. A lot of gank setup with that Nautilus and that Sejuani coming in there for Dark Pegasus.
So also here, it's interesting that the Chaperone, their mid laner, actually looks pretty comfortable on Orianna as well. So I'm not sure if that'll give him any kind of an advantage in the matchup, but if you're comfortable against what you're playing against, sometimes you can actually make plays that are unexpected. You know, some people are so good at certain champions, they can sit there in their head and count down the exact second until everything's ready. So I wonder if we'll see anything like that. Maybe the Vladimir having a slight advantage due to his own comfort.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a little bit of an indicator when that shockwave is coming, so it can potentially get pulled around, and that's a big bunch of Orianna's burst there. So the Vladimir should be fairly safe in lane, particularly against that Sejuani and Orianna combo. They have a lot of CC and a lot of backup sustained damage, but if Chaperone can find the right window to use that pull, can definitely get out fairly scot-free and just keep harassing and keep that CS up as they would do. Just want to scale up into that late game here, particularly with this Trundle as well. Nice farmer being able to shut down that Sejuani tankiness really means that they can do that front to back kind of style. And potentially does need that armor shred because Solbert can't really machine gun down tanks, does need that little bit of a window. Nice pick actually into Testosterone's Kale as well, because once you do get that 60, 80 kind of soul mark and you do start getting that range, you can definitely outrange that Kale and just kite them around a little bit with your slows. Potentially going to take that glacial augment coming into the game.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I'd really actually like to see the Senna go with the glacial augment here. I think it would be kind of foolhardy with how good that rune is to go anything else. But I think for me, it looks like we're going to see a role swap. Or not a role swap, but a lane swap.
Lane swap.
Huh.
Yeah, I do believe the rules are 20 seconds to go.
Yep, they did. Yeah, they were.
So there you go.
I mean, Ornn mid is not unheard of in any regards. It's actually been taken in pro play several times now, especially in Korea. They actually had Faker playing Ornn, and people do meme about Ornn being like a tank mage, assassin, control mage, hyper carry. So, I mean, when he has the free resources of the mid lane and the ability to roam around, he can really change the map. Especially, you know, on blue side, being able to ult from behind the dragon pit to really change the course of a fight, and maybe allow his team to collapse. I like it. I mean, Vlad can bully the Kale early pretty well just due to his sustain. I think they made the move there that makes the most sense if they want to win the game.
Yeah, I think either way, the Kale and Testosterone will have a fairly easy time CSing. Obviously, Vlad can scale into that at that sort of like level 7, level 9 mark, but does need that time to be able to do so. I'm just looking at the map and I see a lot of AP on the top side there with that Kale, Sejuani, and Orianna. So definitely looking for that Abyssal Mask rush on that Ornn, and he's just going to be unstoppable, just being able to push, be that rock into the mid lane, potentially going to be able to roam fast as well.
Yeah, I mean, with Ornn's passive, with the Brittle doing so much damage to you, you get a roam, and all you do is basically throw down your little Q pillar, make it a little warm and toasty, charge into it, knock somebody up, auto attack them once, and boom! Half their health is missing, regardless of what that health originally was.
Well, Tame and I will be right back, guys. We're going to take a short break as we do load into the game, but we'll be right back for Risen Esports here at the Dominate Premade League here, Week 3. Hello and welcome back here to Risen Esports for the Week 3 Dominate Premade League here. My name is Riptor and casting with me this evening is Tame. Looking forward to this. SmonkerZ versus the Buckeye Drakes here on the red side. There's a bit of a 5-man stack here. They're looking for the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, they're really going for that tri-bush heavily here, but it looks like it was already warded. So, I mean, there's not... Yeah, I mean... They're going to see that they're coming, and they're backing off. But, I mean, does that just mean that they take their red and then they switch to do a side-by-side vertical jungle? Probably. They're looking for them. They're looking. I mean, they've already used 2 of their trinket. Oh, and they caught them again. They've been caught on top of being caught.
I can see that why they would do that, though, Tame, because definitely Soulbound and Focus playing the UV in center. Not a lot of power early on in the game. So definitely going to be that weak point. We're really expecting a lot of this bot lane focus here at Dark Lane. This really should just pitch a tent. All about that lane control as well. Having that lane in the right place to be able to create those opportunities for them.
Good heads up on the wards, though. I mean, they caught them both the pass that they knew that they would go down there. And, I mean, I've seen some fiestas. Level 1, I've seen some things.
Yeah, exactly, team. So a little bit of a bot lane start here for both of the junglers, which are going to be sticking around here as well. So maybe Dark Pegasus might look to play bottom early on. Would potentially give up that top side of the map there to the Trundle as well. Definitely a good power farmer as he'll just cycle through his buffs as well. Gang potential up in the top lane fairly limited as CC definitely is on the low point there for both teams.
Yeah, and it's worth pointing out that the Senna did take the Glacial here, since he said we're going to have a little bit of bot lane focus. Definitely helps during a gank as well when you get that auto and slow so much. And otherwise, the Ornn has the Spellbook, which isn't unheard of for mid. It's actually kind of the meta pick right now. He's going to be able to do a lot of tricky stuff, teleport around the map, make plays while also having access to spells like Barrier and Ignite on the fly, which is very good for him since he's such a malleable and flexible character.
Oh, a little bit of an engage there on the bottom side, but very far back as well. Doesn't really want to push too far up into those minions. But in the middle, he's had to force the flash there as well, but it doesn't really matter. Around the pillar, lovely placement there coming out for Jackie Chan and the Chaperone in the mid side. You could say it was all about that mid difference, but now Jackie Chan looking aggressive onto their Sejuani. Dark Pegasus might have to run away. Trundle very good with that chop, just CDing down. Kale looking for the backup there as well, so just backs away there to the mid side. Could have potentially played towards that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really look to see Orianna getting taken out on first blood in that situation, so that's actually really good for the side of the SmonkerZ there. And someone pointed out to me that if Ornn has Spellbook in the mid lane, you could say that he's forging his own destiny. That hurt. I never want to hear that again. Please.
A little bit of a little tickety-boo there.
Yeah, I'm kind of like physically hurt by that. I'm actually going to take a little bit to recover from that. Basically, I got to hit B IRL, and then come back to casting lane after that one.
So a big thing for this in the bottom lane, I talked about like lane control right now. They're not really gankable here in the bottom side if they are looking for a tower dive, so potentially they want to play a little bit more reserved as well. But a lot of damage down coming onto Hell. Now they go in with the Ignite as well onto Silver. Not going to quite have that, but the gank into the bottom lane as well. Here comes Jackie Chan. They're going forward onto Solver, but he's just going to get felled. Going to be gifted over to Solver as well. Nice turnaround there. Jackie Chan making things happening early for his team.
And that's so many summoners used down in the bot lane there. I mean, that's really hard to come back from early in this lane, so I'd expect a lot more pressure to just keep coming down into that bot lane there. Ooh.
Yes,
poking out the...
Reverse the cadence now, give Solbat a little bit more credence to just go forward with those. Again with the knock up here in the mid. And the Brittle coming down as well. Banana struggling with the health bar there. Has one more health bot to go as well. Went for that Dark Seal just for that sustain in lane as well. Probably going to need it, as all of these consumables from Leon really does mean he wants to trade aggressively. Just popping that Forge in the lane. Gotta love that passive. Pops himself a Sapphire Crystal and goes right back to farming.
I mean, if you think about it too, with the Ornn, once Orianna has moved her ball with Q, that's a very short cooldown, but her W is a very long cooldown. So like, she could shield herself back, but once Ornn sees her move or especially use the W, he's very safe to actually trade with her. So I actually kind of like this matchup a little bit more than I thought I was going to initially. It's also very mana intensive for Orianna to use W in the early game. It's almost foolhardy to use it while you're in lane unless it's a kill. You're going to see the bot lane reset here. So look across the map. Kale's actually keeping dead even with the Vlad and CS, which is really good for the Kale at this point in the game. Jungle's pretty even, aside from the kill on the
Dark Pegasus potentially looking mid, but Orianna doesn't really have a lot of mana there. Banana maybe looking out here as well. The Trundle into contesting this top side of the river. Just pushes Dark Pegasus back into his zone. Doesn't have a lot of farm up though, so definitely going to have to path towards that top side if he wants to get anything. Looking around that bottom, being a little bit slow with his timings as well. Maybe going to look to this bot side. Bottom Scuttlet is going to be coming up soon, so he's looking to come to this bottom side for this potentially pushed up lane here for Solbat, looking to go forward as well. But going to go wide though.
I just like to say that for clarity reasons, I love what Riot did with the Nautilus Q. It's so much easier to see where it's actually going to go now.
Nice board here as well. Having that lane pushed up in the bottom just gives that window for Jackie Chan to take this bottom Scarlet Crab. Gonna be able to knock out that pink as well. So just controlling this bottom side river, that really allows Solba just to keep farming up, keep pushing up as well. With this Yuumi, we know the skating is very dominable here in this bottom lane.
Absolutely. I mean, we're not seeing that many souls come down. We're 11 on Solbert right now, which is, I would say, right around average of where you want to be on Sem. Not a super high, super low amount, just kind of average. But you know, the kill early has to feel good. I mean, especially on a character where they're only
Dragon Head's actually being taken though. Dark Pegasus, Jackie Chan going very, very low. Here's the Ornhorn. Smite as well away, which means that he gets a ton of health back. Dark Pegasus level 5, gonna be chased down. That goes over to Chaperone as well. Just collapsed. They didn't have the pressure from the bot lane to be able to answer the call.
Yeah, SmonkerZ are just tearing open this early game here, already opening up a Drake lead, a 1k gold lead, and a 3 kill lead there. Farm's pretty even across the board. That's why the gold doesn't look a little bit worse than it should at this point, I feel. But these next couple moments here are going to be very crucial for the Buckeyes here, as we do see Kale open up a 20 CS lead in the top lane as well, which is not what you want to see if you're the Vlad right now. So I would say that that's their kind of light in the darkness for this early game, is how well the Kale is doing.
They're going to be going for that Gunblade first item. So once the active slow as well, just to be able to chase down. Orianna potentially looking for a gank up here as well. Going to get pinked out. He's off though.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Orianna fall down by about 10 CS now as well. Roaming right there, there's nothing really in their lane to do, and you don't want to fall behind. You do want to scale on Orianna. Her scaling ratios are really, really great. So I can see why she was looking for the kill there. You do want to sort of press that early advantage, that early poke that she has with her Clockwork Wind-Up passive.
Go back a bit more to that Power of Evil build, trying to thread in those auto attacks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that Nash's Tooth Orianna.
I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but her passive is really, really good.
It is nice for last hitting, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Viability there as well. Just gives her a little bit more safety. That means that with that shielding, you can just press that shield and just auto a couple of times for free, get up a nice little bit of a stack here as well. But we can just see with this MR being built up here for the Ornn, definitely going for that Abyssal Mask. Just can't really trade that mana effectively into him without that Lost Chapter. Kind of feels like a bit of a waste of the mana to be trying to hit the Ornn at this point as well. He's only going to get tankier.
I was actually going to say, I wonder if it's actually better to just farm up. Just try to shove the Ornn and farm here. But they do have the Senna Yuumi under tower here in the bot lane. So Aphelios has opened up a 13 CS lead. Maybe he can grab a plate or two up here. That would definitely be a win for them. Aphelios doesn't scale as hard as he used to since he's been nerfed several times. But just, you know, still getting a couple flamethrower autos off later into the game is still devastating into a team. So you never really want to... Oh, yeah, you never want to deal with a scaled Aphelios at any point in the game. He just doesn't one-shot you from 1,300 range away anymore, generally, usually.
Yeah, that was the oppressive range with the Chakram stacks as well. Definitely looking for those one-shots from across the map. The AoE stun as well, definitely from that Gravitum, can be very, very nice as well. A little bit of utility to your team, which would be very nice. Has a lot of utility there as well. Doesn't need to rely too much on that. I'm expecting more pressure from this bot lane, really. Like, they haven't really looked to go too hard onto this Senna Yuumi. So Yuumi definitely feels like she's getting a bit of a free lane right now.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably great here for the SmonkerZ here on the boot side.
And I mean, can they really engage on them now? Because if you look at the item pickups, you can see that Senna's actually grabbed a stop, which really stops a lot of the engages there. Oh!
Again, aggressively. Having to use that shockwave defensively there in the middle of the lane. Jackie Chan just absorbing the CCs, not even low, can just go back to his farm as well. Maybe a little bit of happening in the top side here as Dark Pegasus maybe looking to get onto this. Vladimir as well. He actually goes aggressively forward. A TP coming out here as well. The Chaperone's going to be arriving. Gets a heating now as well. Sunnerwolf going to be booked. Now he's kiting backwards. Can get Dark Pegasus on the front line as well. Chaperone's just going to melt him there with the brittle stacks as well. Control over to the bottom side, but it's in the top where it happens.
Great comms there, too, out of the SmonkerZ. as you saw the Vlad, it's like, what are you doing? Where are you going back in? And suddenly the whole cavalry's there. Ornn did miss the second part of Call of the Forge God, but didn't matter.
Aggressive in the bottom lane as well. They're looking for Sorbert. Can he survive? The Ignite's on. That's going to tick away. Now it's Focus having to run away on that Yuumi. The cat's got no friend to jump to as well. Under tower, tanked up by the support. Nice timing as well. Flash in the middle. Banana having to run back to his tower. He's getting chased down. I don't think there's any more engagement happening there. But Plate's going thick and fast. It's traded in the bot for the top side of SmonkerZ.
Yeah, they just sent that cat back to the litter box, said, no treat for you today. Get your meow mix right out of this lane. I've had enough, and it looks like they are going to aggressively push this tower. Massive damage getting onto it here, taking 3 plates, almost 4. So that's a big in back into the game here for the Buckeye.
Oh, they're going aggressive on the tower as well. Oh, 8-1-1-1.
Oh!
Gets that stopwatch as well. Very nice conclusion there. Dark Pegasus coming in, 4-man stack here on the bottom side of the wave. We did have that Rift bot, but Amalol comes up from that TP flank as well. Looking on to Fel. Aphelios is going to go down here to the Vladimir as well. Chaperone flashing forward. He wants more of this fight. The Ignite is down onto 08110. Dark Pegasus now running away on the front line. Shockwave to reverse the play there. Sorbert level 7 gets ignited. Going to go down as well. The knockup onto Banana. Falls down. Double kill over to the Chaperone. Very nice Dragon into as well. Probably going to get secured when the Trundle comes back from base.
Great shockwave there out of Orianna, but on top of it, Ornn just does so much damage, and he just stays alive through it really felt like the Buckeyes were just getting back into it and then just taking it away there, and then all of a sudden the Smonkers are just putting a smonk in the chat, just lighting it up with that emoji, and then coming back and just destroying them. This game has turned into a brutal game. We're already sitting at 11 kills here in just 13 minutes as the second Drake will as well go to them. And, you know, the Cloud does feel actually really good on characters like the Vladimir, like the Yuumi, like the Senna, like the Ornn. So, I mean, the Cloud is not going to be a dud on this team as they fly high by picking up that second Drake.
Yeah, even at that level 6 mark, the Call of the Forge God's only at a 99-second cooldown. Will only get lower as he stacks a little bit more MR. Abyssal Mask now finished. He's going to be so tanky. Is going to be going for that buff Sunfire Cape as well. So feeling very good in lane right now. 4-0-1 on him. Absolute monster. Orianna can't do anything against that. It's just sitting on the Lops chapter to that. It's going to feel so bad. A little bit of collapse here maybe onto the Chaperone. They want that 400 gold shot down. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to find it though. He's gone forward onto the minions. Here's the aggression, but he's coming back down to his tower. Oh, it's going to be charged as well. He's so tanky, he can't go down. Can Kale be able to find it? There comes the backup here onto Dark Pegasus as well. Jackie Tan looking to go forward. Flashes aggressively. Gets one. Can he get a second? Yes, he can. He'll get the red buff in tow as well. They're onto the bot lane aggressively as well. Here's the Vladimir coming back and forward onto Fel.
Wow, what a move in the mid lane there out of the Chaperone on the Ornn. And we're actually going to see the SmonkerZ pick up the first turret here after all the work the Buckeyes put into that bottom one. It's got to feel bad for them, but just going back to that mid fight, the Ornn's like, nah, I got this 3v1. Maybe a little bit of pride before the fall of the Forge God. Yeah. As we are going to see him finally give over that shutdown there.
Yeah, exactly. And a bottom lane tower there going over to the Aphelios as well. Finished up that Essence Reaver, so nice power spike for him. Coming back in with that Man Immunity and stacking up with that Serrated Dirt. Lots of lethality coming out for the Senna. Now has a stopwatch as well, so potentially can buy a little bit of extra time in these team fights.
Despite the advantages that it feels like the SmonkerZ have here, they're actually only up by about 1,500 gold. So it's not insurmountable by, you know, any stretch of the word. And you're going to see a lot of the reason that there is only that much of a difference is that the Aphelios is now up by about 25 CS in the bot lane, as he did finish the Essence Reaver already and picked up the Executioner's Calling. He's saying, nope, Vlad's not healing on my watch.
There's a lot of healing coming out here with that Yuumi as well. Finish that Athene's on Holy Grail. Such a nice item on them. Get that Q poke and then get the healing buff as well. They're looking for the second Rift Herald as well. Got used into the top wave. That top tower is now fallen. Potentially looking to open up this mid. Half health on pretty much both of these towers. A little bit more for SmonkerZ here on the blue side. So maybe looking aggressively into the middle here from there. Aphelios going to have to be a little bit careful. Is backed up.
I mean, real big compliment here to Jackie Chan early in the game. His Trundle has looked really good and his objective control has been near impeccable. And it feels like every time his team needs him, he's right there. He's sort of been one of those junglers that it feels like he's been all over the map.
Yeah, he did a lot of plays early, helping out in the mid lane as well, catching up Banana and then rotating exactly to the bottom side, catching out a kill there as well. They're definitely going to be looking to use the Rift, I think, potentially in this mid. They do have the pressure, but Chaperone can get up all the damage.
Oh.
There as well. Can he use a second charge of it? He's getting melted, actually. He just doesn't have the backup there as a solo melt comes down. They're looking to go onto 081101. Bell trying to go forward as well aggressively, but Chaperone has to tank for the team as well. He's just going a little bit too aggressive. Managed to buy time for the Trungle earlier, but just couldn't get the backup there as well. Now numbers here for Buckeye Drakes into the middle.
Really good ult there out of Yuumi from Focus to keep them all in that choke point and stopping a re-engage. I think these last two fights, I feel like Chaperone has sort of disrespected the CC that the Buckeyes can bring here. I mean, if you can't hit the second half of your ult, it's pretty devastating. I mean, you're not really knocking people up and doing the extra chunk of damage that you really need to on that Ornn. So they're doing a really good job of countering that so far and staying in this game. Let's see how this Herald goes down here.
Yeah, with the Rift also, Solbert just collecting up those souls. I think there were 3 into the Raptor pit as well.
I noticed that, yeah.
A lot of that as well. Very nicely picked up there. 33 stacks, so definitely not quite of what you're used to seeing, but slowly scaling up. Really wants to hit that kind of 60 mark before you're really comfortable with that range as well. And Kale having a nice early game with that farm as well, falling a little bit behind that Vladimir when we said earlier on that it was something like 90 to 60. A little bit of reverse fall for your mom, lol.
That person's Vlad's name is just mean. Just even hearing you say
I've been saying it wrong, but then I actually like reread it.
When you're just like, oh, the tables have turned for your mom, lol. I'm like, wow, that's not very nice. It's Sunday, man. We're going to see the SmonkerZ pick up the 3rd Drake here at only 18 minutes, which opens up the potential of seeing a Soul right around 24, 25 minutes here. And it would be a Mountain Soul, which, you know, they're not going to say no to with the Ornn and the Trundle and the Vlad on their team.
Yeah, a lot of nice river control here coming out for SmonkerZ. As you said, the gold's quite close to the objective control here as well. Aggressively, Banana looking potentially for your Mumlo. Doesn't quite heal up, gets that flash.
Oh!
Gonna get traded as well. Your Mumlo manages to tower dive successfully. 2-0-3, a lot of ability power stacking up for this Vladimir. We said he was farming nicely, and now he just brings that to fruition.
I was gonna say he doesn't have the tankiness that you would expect out of like an endgame Vlad yet, but he's going heavy into the ability power, heavy into the CDR early on this one, actually forgoing to finish his boots to grab that fiendish codex. He's hitting really hard. You know, we're not going to see him
well when he doesn't need to pull the shockwave, and it doesn't matter when he's on the tower. You see that difference, right? This Orianna having a very difficult early game as well. Hasn't even finished an item yet. We've got multiple items coming out there. Already got that Infernal Mask. 100 MR now onto the Chaperone, kicking up a Storm in the mid lane. Lots of MR getting secured as well for that Spirit Visage, just looking for that healing. So it's really going to mean that Executioner's Calling, as you mentioned earlier from Fel, really going to have to be used effectively in these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to be thinking about how he can apply a bunch of AoE damage. If his ult isn't available, he has more limited options there with the Gravitum and the Flamethrower as well. It looks like we're going to have a fight in the mid lane.
But you can see when that range stacks up there, you can actually use that slow from that Glacial Augment to actually potentially gap close, start a fight, maybe look for a Trundle Pillar underneath them as well to slow them down. So it's a really good like catch engage once you start stacking that up, getting that range as well into those slightly lower range champions of that Aphelios and the Kale potentially in the late game. Playing on the front line, has to be careful though. Dredgeline actually going to go onto the wall there as well. Nice stopwatch to be able to corner. Or now they're corralled into the center there. Nice little bit of a disengage. Solbert now plowing on into Testosterone. Gonna get rooted up. Gonna have to force the flashes. He's already used the Divine Judgment defensively as well. They're looking to back away here from the center.
This feels so bad if you're the Buckeyes there to drop that fight. I mean, you're already feeling like you're behind there. And Kale trying to help her buddies, letting herself down there, popping the ult on someone a little questionable. I think the fight may have gone... Yeah, the fight may have gone differently if Kale ulted herself there. But you know, sometimes you just have too much testosterone up in that top lane, and you make those foolhardy decisions. It looks like we're going to see him.
The Warden here for the Baron right now. He's just an absolute brick. He's going to try and stop it all. He might even fall, but he's just kiting back to his team there as well. Sejuani is probably going to have to think about going over fairly soon. 4,000 health onto this. They are slowly burning it down, though. Here comes Testosterone back on the map. They're peeling away from it. They're maybe looking for a fight. They've still got the aggro. Your Mumlo has to peel back defensively now. The Chaperone on the front, that's where he needs to be. They're looking aggressive. There's the triple knock-up going onto their Jackie Chan. Flashes away as well. Gets the healing from the Yuumi. Now it's the Nautilus going down. He's on the front line as well. Your Mumlo going to be able to finish off that. Now they're looking forward to Testosterone. Used Splash in the last fight. Gets knocked up aggressively. The exhaust down. That's a double kill onto your Mumlo. Now they're looking. Banana's got no mana. That's a triple down onto the Vladimir. There's absolutely no stopping the smokers right now as they're going to go right back to the Baron.
Remember how I said in the pre-game, ever see a 30-minute Vlad Yuumi? How about a 22-minute Vlad Yuumi tearing through a game there? That was an impressive and disgusting amount of healing done there out of focus onto your mum lol. As we're seeing them take out the Baron here, I was actually questioning them disengaging. I thought, you know, maybe they could finish this, back off, regroup, you know, take that bot side, get the soul. Nope, they proved me completely wrong there. They just decided they're going to disengage, absolutely destroy the Buckeyes and get the Baron, and now go set up for the soul as well, which, I mean, has to be their next thought. Probably open up this bot lane here, which they should be able to do very easily. This is starting to spiral out of control here with a 5-0 Vladimir being supported by that Ornn. I mean, and it doesn't get better against Vlad. He already has the Rabadon's Death Crown upgraded by the Ornn. That's a 40% AP increase instead of a 25% AP increase. I mean, it's going to get yucky. I don't know how else to...
single item, he's getting like 310 AP right now from that item alone. It's absolutely insane. He had that for the last fight, so he's definitely ahead of the curve right now. They're looking aggressively on Spell, who step forward, but here comes the front line, trying to kite back. Chaperone so tanky, he gets a double knock up as well. Now Jackie Chan in the front line. Testosterone has to use the Divine Judgment back, but he just doesn't buy enough time. They just can't deal enough damage to this front line from the tankiness coming out of your Mumlo, Jackie Chan, and the Chaperone. It doesn't matter. The healing is there. The Executioner's calling just isn't cutting through it enough. They don't have the power spikes. Testosterone can't find the engagements onto the backline as well. And it's just all roses coming out here for SmonkerZ as they pick up their full Drake. That is Soul.
So, I feel like the chapter may be closing here due to the Yuumi closing the book herself. But in this game that we're seeing right here, I just want to say that don't let your friends play Vlad Yuumi. It's degenerate. It's something you never want to see. It is the composition of sinners. Your family will leave you. Your house will burn. I do not want to see it in Risen. I do not want to see it in solo queue. Nobody saw this game, and it's never happened. I just needed to... This did not happen. Yuumi has only been sitting on the Trundle the entire game. And if you think that you've seen otherwise, you are actually incorrect.
Yeah, they actually banned away the Tahm Kench and Soraka in the second pick. I wonder whether or not they wanted to maybe look more towards, considering they'd already banned that Silas and the Syndra. They maybe could have closed down that mid-champion pool a little bit more, considering they did go for the Ornn first. We'll have to see how that goes. I don't think it'll get through yet again. Had a really nice slow laning phase, but just scaled up nicely there with the Yuumi now. All of the stats coming out for this level 14 Chaperone as well. Call of the Full God's proc. That's the start of the fight there. They're knocking up onto the Nautilus. Gets shredded at the start there. Your Mumlo into the backline. Testosterone's there, but just gunned down in the meantime. Chaperone now looking forward to back onto the fell, but it doesn't matter. Like, this man can tank shots right now from the fell. Got no damage. The man can't be stopped.
No, and we're going to see a wet noodle fight here as the Nautilus desperately tries to stay alive against the... Desperately and impotently, may I add, tries to stay alive there. Oh, another knock. Can't stand near that tower when there's an Ornn, bro. Cannot stand near that tower. I think a lot of people underestimate just how wide the hitbox is on an Ornn knockup on almost any terrain. Vlad just fountain diving. Does he have to stopwatch? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He just gets the kill and ends the game anyway. So, I mean, SmonkerZ going to clean this one up here. Congratulations to them on taking game 1. Don't think you guys should let the Ornn through if you're Buckeyes and you're watching right now. Probably not a good call to let the Ornn through.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a difficult game there, Tame. It felt fairly even, but as we said, the all of the map control was going forward to SmonkerZ, and then they just let rip. The Vladimir got that death cap. They went in with the Yuumi, and that extra calling, the heating reduction wasn't enough for this absolute beast of a comp there, coming out with all these tanky stats. And just unfortunate that they couldn't really punish this bot lane of the Senna Yuumi enough to really transition themselves into the mid game in a place of strength. So we'll be right back here for game number 2 here at Risen Esports. This is week 3 of the Dominate Premade League here. We'll be right back with game number 2 against SmonkerZ and Buckeye Drakes. Hello, welcome back here to game number 2 against Buckeye Drakes and SmonkerZ. SmonkerZ had an absolute tear there with the Yuumi and Vladimir in game number 1. Instant ban away from the Vladimir here for Buckeye Drakes. My name is Rupto, and casting with me this evening is Tame.
Yeah, I mean, and no surprise to see the Vlad taken out, but I've always said that I'm not an advocate of backfoot drive. Like, if you get stomped by something, just assuming that the team's plan for the second game is to just run it again. I don't know how you feel about it, but usually even if I win with something hard, my exact plan for the next game isn't to just run that comp back. So I feel like you're almost sacrificing a ban in a way by taking out the Vladimir, because we don't really know if SmonkerZ wanted to play that again. I don't know if they could have tolerated playing that again. I mean, you can only tolerate so much Vladimir before your eyes start to melt out of their sockets. Oh, SmonkerZ taking the Ornn away there to keep it away from them. I mean, it's
It could have got first picked. I
yeah.
think that would have been a good strategy.
It would have gotten first pick. There's absolutely
my thinking is that we probably won't see a Kale. I think we'll either see Vega or Malzahar gets picked potentially in the mid lane this game. And we'll have to see for bot lane again. But Senna being picked up, fairly nice. I doubt that will be with a Yumi, as that was a very high risk, high reward lane, but played out successfully there by SmonkerZ. We'll have to see if Buckeye Drakes can replicate that with the Senna in the bot lane.
I'd like to see somebody try the Famine Senna. I mean, it's very, very good right now, and you leave lane with double the amount of soul. Really, you can make up the farm in about 5 minutes. Like, you just clear a couple waves on a side lane, and you're honestly right back to where you should be. So it'll be interesting to see here if they're up on the meta and are trying something like that. And it might also shape the second ban phase from SmonkerZ here if the Buckeyes don't show their support in the first phase.
I like that you just said Senna picking up farm in a side lane. That sounds pretty yankable, my friend, but fair enough.
I mean, it's what's been happening with a Tom Kench in the LCK. So the Tom Kench follows the Senna, and then it's like, wait, you thought I was gankable? No, I'm being
requires setup and coordination to successfully do, though. Requires a lot of trust in your support as well to be giving up that farm, particularly if it is a melee farmer. That does mean that you are going to miss a lot of CS potentially and get pushed off the wave as well. But Zach is a nice pickup potentially with the Tristana and Olaf there. Tristana, love the mobility. I'm actually a bit of a Tristana main myself. Fantastic champion with all of those resets available to her and surprising amount of burst damage, particularly if you do.
There it is. They're doing it. They're doing it.
This is the Tom K Center. We'll have to see whether or not the gold is donated early over onto 081011. I'm sure I got some of those numbers wrong in the cast there as well. But when your name is a taskbar, I'm not sure quite what you expect. Zyra as well going to get picked up into the Tom Kench Center. This is what I like. This is the aggressive support. Because Tom Kench, wonderful for the defense, not so great with the offense. A lot of potential to root him up, so can't get on those auto attacks to be able to consume the Zyra or the Tristana as well. So definitely going to be looking for that. Senna potentially nice to be able to chase that down, but pretty much going to be 2v1ing this lane right now.
Yeah, I really like to see the Zyra pick up myself with the Olaf, because if you think about it, Zyra has that ult that knocks people up, gives a lot of target access to both the Olaf and the Tristana, so a lot of synergy in their first 3 picks here. But I also love the Famine Senna, hopefully. So we're going to see probably some mid lane bans come out here, maybe a single top lane ban, as we did see the Malphite get banned away by SmonkerZ. Yeah, Buckeyes taking out the Orianna. Not really surprised. I did mention that their Chaperone was good at playing that as well. That's why I thought when they were originally going to have the Vlad Ori matchup that's how that was going to go down.
Yeah, exactly. And with these, particularly with the Zac pick as well, I would expect to see a carry top laner, potentially like a Jax or something coming out for Buckeyes here as well. Your Mumlo played Vladimir very well in game number 1. We'll have to see what he chooses to take. Malzahar going to get banned away. I said that might be a pickup as well. Got banned in game number 1. So that leaves Vega up potentially. I don't think you'll really pick Vega and Zyra into the same comp as well, because they do very much similar things. But as you say, that long range control of an area that those 2 champions can actually provide is insane, and really gives that credence for Olaf just to be able to play around where he wants on the map.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play this too with the Olaf, because it's a very big stylistic difference from the Trundle as well. And Mord taken out there, not really surprising, but also you don't see as much Mord as you used to. Mord used to be pretty much pick ban for 4 or 5 patches until not too long ago, and he's sort of taken a couple love taps, got him down to more down in the stratosphere again.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that ability to tank the damage with all that shielding and healing and the DPS as well. Gangplank going to be blind picked into the top lane here for your Mumlo, thinking aggressively, again, looking to scale up into this late game. They've got that Olaf for the early game, and then there's late game damage coming out with that Tristana, the Zyra, and the Gangplank ultimate on top of that. So much zone control yet again. Being able to put those entangling roots down and that GPL. Going to be immense zone control. Going to be really difficult for that Senna to be able to really gap close And their answer to that is going to be this Nocturne. They're going to look to offensively dive onto whichever champion they want. They've got a lot of gank opportunities with their Zac to create advantageous angles, this Tom Kent sort of like mobility as well to be able to look to get flows as well. Gonna need to have a strong
Don't forget,
solo laner. So is Nocturne's a solo lane? Is that top?
I was gonna say, yeah, okay. So I was gonna say, even Zac right now has been picked top a lot lately in the. So I was wondering if that was gonna be like a Zac top, Nocturne mid. It could actually still be. There's a lot of flex on the side of Buckeye Dragons. They have 3 different characters that can go into the jungle here, so they can sort of like take their pick and choose of what they think the best lanes will be for them here.
Heavy AD though, so definitely Ninja Tabby is going to be very useful. A lot of auto attackers coming out here.
Last pick as we wait with bated breath there is the cast. I mean, whichever champion they send to the mid lane, assuming Nocturne here, that's not a fun lane into the Cassiopeia, at least once she has like 1 item or at least a lost chapter to be able to chase you and spam you down, especially with the miasma where the grounded. I believe, game knowledge might not be 100% here, but I do believe that Cass can stop Noct from ulting with the miasma, correct?
I mean, he can step off it and then ult.
True.
I'm not sure he can actually ult on it, but I might be wrong on that. Yeah, it's not a situation that I've really come across too often myself. But Cassiopeia can be very, very nice. It means that they probably have to be a little bit more flexible with who they put into that middle lane. They might actually go with the Nocturne because it does has that AoE wave clear. Also, Jax potentially can to solo out if you do get a little bit of MR early. Just go down for that rundown trades as well. But into that middle lane when that lane is a little bit shorter gives the Chaperone a little bit more density to be able to just play a little bit more aggressively, as he does know that he can kite back to his tower very nicely there as well. Carried performance from him on that Ornn though, looking for the same on this Cassiopeia as well. I mentioned the Jack picks here for testosterone, and he is going to go with this. I do believe that'll probably be onto him in the top lane. And so I would have thought that does mean Zac will go into the jungle and Nocturne will be mid.
Yeah, I agree as well. I'm actually kind of interested to see if they do try to do anything spicy or swap here, though. Nocturne will have a hard time with the Cassiopeia. Then again, though, so would a Jax. So I mean, it's like it's kind of like whoever you send there, it's like lining them up for the slaughter at this. Unless you can get some really good early ganks onto the Cassiopeia, it's so hard to stop her from scaling. She's a traditional mid lane staple in amateur leagues and in pro play. I feel like almost every mid laner has this like pocket pick cast that they can just pull out and dominate with, but only when they need to. And it looks like we are. So far, it looks like Jax is going top, but we can see swaps. We saw swaps last game, so.
Buckeye Drakes have definitely backed themselves for this game though, because they are short range, close counter engagers with that Jax, with that Nocturne. They're really looking to get on top of their enemy. So if they don't have that vision control that SmonkerZ definitely beat them at last game with that early map control, and they have early enough leads to be able to aggressively use that ultimates forward and engage onto them. They really need to do that to succeed with this comp, as we have so much range coming out with this Cassiopeia, Zyra, and then Tristana later in the games when you've got those passive auto attacks scaling up into those longer ranges.
Definitely. I think for Buckeyes here, getting Nocturne out of that mid lane is going to be big for them, even if Zac just comes through and sort of gives them that sort of stability of helping him get a wave out or something. Getting him out of that lane is going to be so clutch because, Nocturne does play that sort of almost like the Talon role where he's more of like a map pressure assassin. And if he is stopped from doing that, I don't think the whole map the whole Summoner's Rift kind of looks bad for them.
Yeah, definitely. With that Nocturne jungle, you always look for that level 6 ult to be impactful, and now we'll be looking for that again. He really will need to get the ball rolling, particularly when the Chaperone is just going to be looking to scale up, stack that tier up in the middle of the lane, and potentially push out and dominate with it. So Banana's going to have to be fairly careful. I'm not sure if he's going to go Tiamat for the wave clear. Obviously, he does have that AoE auto with the passive every now and then, and that Q scaling as well. Can be very nice just to wave clear. Has to be a little bit careful as he can get run down, and he has to spell shield the right thing. As spell shielding 1E isn't going to mean a lot to the rotation of Cassiopeia, so definitely has to be looked and play carefully around that.
Yeah, I mean, spell shield against a cast where she's shooting out 45 spells a minute is it's like which one? That one? Oh well, she has 6 more flying at me already in the air.
Yeah, exactly, Tame. A little bit difficult here. Looking forward to seeing Testosterone here on the Jax as well. Definitely has that late game scaling potential. Can definitely duel a Gangplank despite his lovely scaling himself. But it will be that Gangplank ultimate into those side lanes just to disengage and disrupt this all-in potential of this Zac and Nocturne, particularly into this bottom lane. We're looking at Zyra very, very gankable as well. With that Tristana passive, you can't really control the wave very well. They are going to be pushing in this bot lane. So it's going to be all about whether or not Soulburt and Focus yet again can survive the laning phase, come out scot-free, and they can transition that into a mid to late game win.
We will be taking a brief break as we go into here. Or go into game 2 here on Risen Esports. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello and welcome back to Game 2 here at Risen Esports with the Buckeye Drakes, a game down against SmonkerZ here on the red side. My name is Rukta and casting with me this evening is Tame.
Welcome back to the Rift, everybody. Here as the predictions seem to be in favoring Smonker so far from both the casters and the chat, so we're going to have to see if the Buckeyes can come back in this one. You know, you always want to see teams do their best, never want to see anybody roll overs. It looks like Smonk is going for another invade, or no, excuse me, that was the other team that went for the invade last game. Different story this time, though. There is no ward catching them out. And it looks like they are just going to kind of back off, as the Buckeyes will sit in 5-point here.
Yeah, with an Olaf, definitely looking for an early aggressive level 1 here as well. Jackie Chan had a stellar performance early on that Trundle. Going to be looking to replicate this on the Olaf as well. Needs to play fairly aggressively early to really make this pick sing.
I do want to note, though, that we are going to actually see the Famine Senna. She does start with a support item there. She has the Spectral Sickle. So the thing that vexes me here is, can the Tahm Kench farm into a Tristana Zy? Because the strategy does hitch on getting your Tahm Kench to be very tanky, very farmed. You know, you want those 50 CS early in the game so you can pick up an item. Oof. That's one that's going to be...
I'm a little unfamiliar with this. So does that mean that the support does eventually build the support item because of you do need those wards? So does he wait to buy it?
So it's a lot like the old Sonateric. As soon as they hit like a satisfactory item point or whatever they need, a lot of times you'll see like, you know, the Knight's Vow or just whatever suits the situation, the first item picked up, then they switch off. Senna will begin farming, sell the support item. Tahm Kench will then buy a support item and then scale it up very quickly and get wards. Because by then he can usually just tongue lash freely. It's not much of a risk to get in, and he can stack the support item in usually 8 to 10 minutes after he buys it.
Okay, well, aggressive here for Soulburst. Well, looking to go a little bit in. Had that level 2 power spike. As we said, there's going to be a lot of push here for Soulburst focused in the bottom lane.
And a lot of reason that we're seeing this is because in 10.3, you saw Senna's soul rate get nerfed to 2% basically on cannons if she's ADC. If she's support, she still gets a guaranteed soul from every cannon, and she gets a boosted amount based on CS from her ADC. So basically, you're kind of subverting the game's rules and breaking them a little bit to scale yourself much more quickly.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it does play out. Also means that she's able just to scale up that passive a little bit more aggressively, worried about trading rather than actually getting the CS. I mean, she doesn't have to be too concerned. But whenever you see the Tahm Kench step up, just expect to see that little bit of poke, that little bit of chip down. Already used that potion as well. At half health, just has to allow for the healing to come through from that ADC, swapping those roles with that bottom side. See, Zach potentially into this bottom side, maybe can look for something as he is trading for that top pressure. Olaf looking towards this top side. Testosterone a little bit low here from early trades from your mum hole.
I mean, worth noting is even with the poke and pick lane that they have in the bot lane right there, Tahm Kench actually has a 3 CS advantage on the Tristana. Not anything really worth talking about, but it's something. They're playing it out so far.
Yeah, that's because Fel, as he does take some heavy poke there from the Zyra, actually does mean that Fel is all about the trading right now. They're looking aggressively up onto this top side as well. Jackie Chan just shows his face. Already invaded this top side. So up on that CS as well. And that just means he can rotate to his side of the map. He can recall freely and pick up all of that extra farm now available in his side of the map. TP there. Maybe they're looking onto this top side. The Zac is in tow. They're looking forward aggressively now onto this GP. Your mum low jumps around, bumped up. Testosterone. This should go over to him. First blood really needs to go over onto the Jax if they can. Flashed away with the auto in the air. That's guaranteed. That feels bad.
That feels really bad.
Actually jumping forward aggressively, but going all into the bot lane.
That feels extra bad for the Gangplank there to lose both your flash and your life. It was like, I actually saw the graphic of the auto attack impact him once he landed from flash. That little golden flash that you see from the God Stab Jax. I mean, That was a game of inches, of a mere decision of milliseconds there, and it. I have to see if they take advantage of that. You know, you're going to want to see the Zach go up and regank until that flashes up.
Is Soulburst just missing CS here? Is he uncomfortable with the pushing power of the passive here for Soulburt on this Tristana? I'm kind of expecting her to have a little bit more of a CS lead. We see as 40 CS here for the Chaperone, doing very nicely against that Nocturne. We expected that into this range matchup here, but Soulburt just needs to pick it up a little bit potentially. Does have that push power, but as we said, that Senna just looking for that poke and harass. Backs to base as well, looks for that first buy into that bot lane. We do see that Chain Vest coming out, but that means that the Zyra is going to have a lot of focus down there onto the Brom side.
I mean, obviously, he's going to feel more comfortable paying it than I am, Soulburt. But I always get a little sketchy with Tristana's passive until, like, my first back. I'm afraid of pushing too hard, and then I'm afraid of missing CS by, like, setting it up incorrectly. So I wonder if maybe he's just kind of, like, playing it more a little passively until he has the guaranteed, like, one-shot on the backline minions with the passive. I assume that he's a lot better at Tristana than me, though, so I'm probably completely off base and entirely wrong. But we are seeing...
There's a nice flow to it. And whenever I miss one CS, I end up missing, like, 3 or 4 because I'm relying on that to be able to... You get into a rhythm, and if that rhythm's broken, then suddenly, like, you're all out of Wampus here. A little bit of a roam here in the mid lane. Maybe Banana looking to base check. A nice little route there as well. The Ignite is down. Flashes into the wall. Unfortunate there. Gonna go down. Chaperone picks up his first kill of the game. Didn't even need the exhaust.
I wasn't aware that we were casting Rampage this afternoon. That's I think the first failed flash I've seen casting Dom. And then it feels extra bad because, you know, you're live and there's people watching you. And then you just become the Nocturne mid that failed flash on stream. And you live with that for the rest of your life. And then you're like, you have a child and you're married when you're older, and then you're on, like, your deathbed.
There's more issues in the world, my friend.
But you never.
Sometimes the priorities are there. Sometimes they aren't. Focus getting that nice roam off there as well. BF sword now finished for this Tristana. Now she can look to play a little bit more aggressive potentially as well. Doesn't have that healing and sustain that the Senna does. So whenever she goes in for that trade, Nocturne coming out there onto the Zyra. Absolutely exploded there, flashed away, but Banana traded it on there as well. Fell actually flash forward aggressively, looking for a little bit of the action.
He heard me talking about him. Might have the stream going in the background. He's like, I gotta prove this guy wrong. I'm ulting. Everybody dive. I'm ulting.
I said that. I was like, oh, Jackie Chan to the bottom right. The flashes are... The Ragnarok is down. He's gonna get exploded. It's only a matter of time. Now 0-1's out without a biscuit. He's gotta run. He's level 5. He's not got a hope. He's jumped on. He's exploded. Double kill going over to Jackie Chan as he makes something happen on the map. On aggression onto the Chaperone. He's gonna secure it as well. Doesn't
just pops. And only with just a tier and a chapter there, only rocking about 40 bonus ability power that isn't coming. So yeah, about 60 when you count in the runes. But wow, just 60 AP able to blow up the Nocturne like that. That's pretty crazy to see that happen so early in the game.
We mentioned, Tame, that we really needed that early Nocturne ultimate to do something, and it did something in the bottom lane, but it only really equalized things out. And giving his life back and being so far down in CS now, 48 to 83 here. The Chaperone CSing very, very nicely here in the middle of the lane. Plates going over now to Soulburt as well. Just means that gank in the bottom lane just slowly getting mitigated down. The pressure's going to continue now.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you think about it, the setup from that Nocturne ult was good, but really, SmonkerZ played around it so well after the fact that they knew that he had no pressure. They were just able to really counter, and it ended up turning into an advantage for them.
And you're right as well with this CS, because the Tom Kench isn't exactly CSing very perfectly right now with 47 to his name. So slowly getting to that point that he needs to with the items, but it is slow progress here in the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna see Senna get just enough CS to not get the support penalty as well, so you do have to factor those in as we have
in the top lane as well. It's bounce around for your mum, lol. He's been caught out. The flash forward traded again with Testosterone. He's tanking quite a few tower shots though. Gonna get the heal there from the passive as well. manages to survive. Now Jackie Chan misses the first axe. Will he land the second? No, just going back to the tower, looking for this Jack's testosterone on the run. Nocturne into as well. Maybe they're looking to transfer back up.
Where's he going to go?
As well. Here comes the Nocturne back into it. The Senna comes through as well with that Warning Shadow. Jackie Chan training it back now. Level 7. This is a mid lane Nocturne as well. Running away, getting kited back here for Dark Pegasus. Trying to create space for his mid laner. Does so.
Really good use of the Ragnarok there. As soon as he had the Fear Tether on him. Oh, another... As I was saying there, as soon as he had the Fear Tether on him from the Nocturne, he popped the Ragnarok once it was on instead of preemptively there. So he baited the ability, played around it there, and did it pretty much everything perfectly in that fight.
Exactly. I just keep looking at this CS score for the Chaperone, the 2-0 monster that is going to be this Cassiopeia in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about an 11-minute Archangel Staff plus. They have Archangel Staff Amplifying Tome and Corrupting Potion already at 11 minutes. You're looking for a mage usually to finish their first big item by like that 13, 14 minutes if they're doing well. So he's doing amazingly well, really outpacing the game right here. And I mean, that's a ticking time bomb in the mid lane. If Buckeyes don't start applying some pressure, start scaling this bot lane and start getting some global map pressure around, oof. I mean, especially with the 2 Drakes for the SmonkerZ, one of them being Cloud. Yee. It's looking a little scary here for Buckeyes. I want to see them make a nice proactive play here soon that isn't just ganking top.
Yeah, exactly, Tame. Definitely looking very predominant on this mid laner, the Chaperone in the ascendancy right now. But it's Jackie Chan catching out Dark Pegasus. The 4-man stack here, bouncing around. The Ignite is down. The jump forward for Soulbert as well. That's going to be the passive proc. It actually gets TP2 there, extending the play. The Chaperone onto Fell, has to flash away defensively. Now Tom Kench is in the ascending line. But it's the Chaperone who wins it all, and GP is the recipient of the kills. Triple kill going over to the Chaperone. Aggressive jump over for Soulbert, finishing it up. Quadra kill. 6-0-1 on the Chaperone.
Yikes. I feel like at that point, it's like they just logged on Reddit and went to Zac mains, and they're like, does anybody else remember that you can teleport to the Zac passive? And they're like, guys, we can teleport to the Zac passive. We all have to do it. And really just sort of lost that play there based on the poor decision-making of forcing that. This Cass is going to be so beastly now that the whole game is going to have to be played around them as they do pick up the Haunting Guise, which has that Madness passive. And, you know, Cass is basically always in combat. So not only does she have the Archangels now, she has the Seeker's Arm Guard. The Madness passive is just going to be like a free extra 10% damage almost at all times throughout the game now.
Yeah, just slowly stacking up those poison stacks just delays that passive just ever so long. Also, with that Seeker's Arm Guard going in for that stasis as well, looking for that stopwatch item. And also with this Nocturne, we thought that it could have been an aggressive pick, and he did a nice play bottom to get the kill onto Focus there for his ADC. But apart from that, hasn't really looked too strong, and really now can't lane against this monster of a Cassiopeia.
I mean, we're also seeing the Famine Senna strategy is usually generally over by about now, but they're still running it. As you can see, Senna did finish the Harrowing Crescent. It's like, at this point, are we actually going to see an ADC Tom Kench, or are they just sort of like scrambling and trying to figure out their game plan? I mean, it's Nocturne is basically at a Tiamat and a Serrated Dirk versus an item and a half.
He's getting chased down. He's got the mobility as well. A bit of a sticky wicket. Comes back in with a lot. So I'm not sure you want to do that, Maisie. Trades his life 1-for-1. Here comes the Ragnarok as he explodes onto Bell, running under the tower. He's going to trade his life for it potentially as well. Now the disengage is coming out. He's catching onto Dark Pegasus. Here comes your Momlo, though, to see what he has to say about it.
Wow.
Olaf lives for so long. 018 now has to run back to his tower. GP coming in clutch there as well.
Yeah, GP with the beautiful flank there. He's coming in and shutting everything down, and it's like...
Oh, he's looking aggressively on the tower now. He's stayed a little bit too long. So many passive stacks. He gets the last Q. Manages to secure that tower dive in the top lane as well. Secured onto Soul Burst there with the last little bit of damage from that Buster Shot. And they'll trade back the tower too.
I mean, with how dominant SmonkerZ are here at 15 minutes, it almost begs the question, do you think that the Buckeyes here just lost in draft? Because it feels like it's been just a draft difference from minute one. I mean, the game obviously isn't over. They're not counted out yet here. There's always something like, you know, a Dragon steal, a Baron steal or something. But you're at 15 minutes, you're looking at a 7K gold deficit. We're talking about like deficits that you see teams like G2 make against their opponents, and you don't really see people come back from stats like, I mean, they are going to grab another Herald here, open up the map even more. I look for that to go mid. Absolutely, as they'll get full topside priority around the Baron as it's going to spawn here in just 4 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think Jax is necessarily going to be able to beat a GP when it's just Triforce 2 Triforce. Jax definitely needs a couple more items really to be able to do that. So they can't really combat a 1-3-1. They can't push out lanes to be able to rotate to use this mobility from that Tahm Kench and the Nocturne. Because whenever they're playing on that weak side, they'll just get pushed in and they'll lose structures, they'll lose towers. This mid lane's almost gone. I'm expecting that, but the third Drake is coming up as well. That'll be the target. Yeah, Ocean Drake, number 3, coming at you.
So you are seeing Dark Pegasus and the rest of the Buckeyes set up around the Drake, but the vision control is in the favor of SmonkerZ. I mean, do you go for the desperation play when it's not soul point? It looks like the answer is yes out of them right so far. Or do you wait for soul point, which we've seen a lot of games be lost over people forcing Dragon. You know, Jack's already taken down a third of his health there. Are they just going to back off here? I would almost say that that's the play if they would like to be conservative and stay in this game. I don't think they win a team fight here.
Same, they're definitely posturing like this is their moment to come back into the game. I think they maybe want to give it up.
Yeah,
Zach's coming in aggressively, though. He actually steals it. That's wonderful.
Wow.
He flashes out as well. He just disengages from the fight. They do not want the fight at all. They realize that they have the disadvantage, but that just gives them so much time. Rift procced in the mid as well. They have a little bit of a wave that's not really going to get mattered, as that is going to get cleared out pretty quickly. But it's the Rift Herald that will take down the structure here in the mid lane. Wonderful steal coming out of Dark Pegasus, though.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely keeping them in the game there and getting away. I think they knew and realized that they couldn't win the fight.
The flanks open here for Zach. This is the moment to shine if they're going to go for it. Jax is coming out onto the wings as well. They're definitely overextending a little bit into the mid lane with these flank opportunities coming out for Dark Pegasus.
It almost got a third charge off.
As well, Dark Pegasus can't quite find the angle. They don't push the go button just yet. They lose a lot. We're losing that second tower as well, though. As I said, now they're going onto the Chaperone. Exhaust comes down immediately. Flashed away from Testosterone as well. Now they're looking for it. A little bit of damage coming out there from the center on the auto attack. Now they're looking aggressively. Flash over from Jackie Chan as well. But it's a Chaperone in the front line, busting onto the Tahm Kench as well, who just has to retreat. Flashes back to his tower, and the siege continues now, as a lot of the engage options have already been blown. Zach doesn't really want to look for an engage.
No, I think that when you said this is their moment, I think you were right. They had that perfect 3-man defending of the tower. As soon as that Herald went down, I think you got to send in the Jax and the Zach if you're going to.
Looking for the Chaperone yet again. The stun does land this time. That's going to be the root up. Can they collapse it, though?
Oh my God.
Fell actually falls back. Doesn't commit to the kill. The Testosterone falls. He's just got the Triforce to literally 2.5 items here. This monster Cassiopeia just eats a CC and just takes him down to shreds and says hello.
Disgusting play out of the cast so far. Coming up 177 CS, you know, they're right on where they should be for the like the Diamond 4 Elo CS on the cast, but you don't usually expect 177 CS and 8 kills at 19 minutes. So, I mean, they're already, if you take a look at their build, they have the Leandries finished. They have the Seraph's Embrace finished. It looks like they're going for Azonia's next, but they're so, just to speak as to how far ahead they are, they didn't even build the stopwatch part of Zonia's early. They went for the Fiendish Codex, the Seeker's Arm Guard. They're like, nah, I got this. Invulnerability, who needs to go gold? And I'll just machine gun everybody down. I'm Rise Jr.
I also saw that tape. I was quite impressed. Like, that is definitely a show of strength there, looking for that little bit of extra CDR and that ability power rather than that little bit of extra cooldown. Doesn't think he needs it. And why should he? I mean, a little bit of MR, but that just means that the damage isn't there for the Jack. Like, he hasn't farmed up aggressively. 96 farm at 20 minutes into the game isn't really where you want to be at. Finally picked up a little bit of farm onto this Nocturne. But with his ultimates, he hasn't really been the recipient of the kill, so he just isn't ahead in gold to where he really needs to be. The mobility of Soulburnt means that he can jump around the map, and honestly, getting onto Focus, Focus can still get his rotational spells out before he goes down, so he's still going to be able to impact the fight. And they're just barreling down onto this Baron right now. SmonkerZ just looking for a Queen Sleep right now. This might be a little bit of a checkpoint, but it goes so quickly right now with the Chaperone being so strong there. Tristana with that IE and slowly picking up into the Zeal.
I was going to say, every time Trist was hitting it there and then popping the bomb, you just see Baron's health get chunked with every attack. I mean, it's looking very dire here for the Buckeye. They need to make
this is the moment right now. They're going in a great... Gold's golden. The knock-up is there. Testosterone gets eaten. Now they're kiting backwards. Jackie Chan going to fall as well. He's ignited. He's getting chased out. He goes up to the lane, though. He's going to get supported by Sword Burst. Now they're looking back onto the Tom Kench. Busher shot into Focus as well. He's out of dodge right now. He's going to go down. That's a kill, and the Chaperone finally comes to the play. Doesn't have TP. Was into the top side pushing it out. But they've broken the fight there. Bell doesn't have the DPS right now. Only sitting at an item and a half, really.
And so, I mean, as they are going to lose an inhib here, that was their moment, you're right. And I think they played it about as good as they can. They just don't have the damage to really fight back against SmonkerZ right now. I mean, Senna's still sitting on the support item. They just never decided to... Yeah. Not really what you want to be seeing at this point in the game. As we are going to see, like, the kill participation across the board is so much better on SmonkerZ as well. Like, you're seeing pretty much their whole team coordinate for most of their kills, aside from when, like, Buckeyes found the cast and just died anyway. So this is going to be another Drake. Obviously, we're going to see another Ocean as we do have the chill room.
Looking for the woods.
Sorry, bro. The dead man's plate is not going to help you there at all.
He doesn't even have wards, though, because he's sitting on 17 ward score as a support. I don't think this Famine Senna has really paid off. He just wasn't able to get the CS early enough. Zach looking for another.
Almost.
Drive by Smite. Almost finds it. Doesn't quite, but looking bold. Next one will be looking for that soul there of the Ocean. See if they can find that available to them. But now they're going to just reset onto the map. They have 3 minutes and a half for Baron. They're going to look. They've opened up that mid lane tower. 2 T2s onto the sides as well. So they're probably going to 1-for-1. GP has his ultimate available and that teleport, so he can potentially look to go around that bottom side. Still can trade into that Jax, who is scaling up that AP. Probably going to be looking to go for that Wit's End second item against this monstrous, the Chaperone here on this Cassiopeia as well. Jackie Chan finds a target.
Ooh.
Sends him packing as well. Looking aggressive now onto this 8-1. Finish that Thormail, looking very strong.
So, I mean, I honestly feel like SmonkerZ are looking to end the game here within probably the next push. If you look at the Chaperone right now, they're sitting on an Elixir of Soul, which to me says as soon as they think there's going to be a fight, they're going to pop it, go for their last burst. They're done building items functionally at that point. They're confident in their ability to end the game. So this might be the last push. We'll have to see here how it plays out as they have already cracked the base.
Paranoia, but Tristana just jumps away. Now Banana needs to just kite back there. Ragnarok Puck, now they're looking aggressive. They're turning it around with a Banana. Absolutely devoured there. Your Mumlol on the backline as well. Picks up the kill onto Dark Pegasus. Now they're looking aggressively forward. The Chaperone picks up a double kill. That poison hurts. It stings for so long, causing flashes all the way back to the Nexus as well. They've got the minions in the mid. They'll be pushing for game number 2. It was a quick 2-0 bop here. We thought it was going to be close, but in the end of the day, SmonkerZ says no. SmonkerZ wants a quick series, and they'll take it. He goes golden there into the middle with the Zara as well. The minions all come in. It doesn't matter. The game's over.
Wow.
And 2-0 over to SmonkerZ against Buckeye Drakes.
Late shout out there to Solbert for playing that fight perfectly with the game sense to jump away as soon as the Paranoia came down, securing them the game there. And I was right. They did go for the end on that push, and they secured it. Really good, clean 2-0 from SmonkerZ there, looking great. Hopefully they continue to find success moving forward, and the Buckeyes can bounce back. I had a great time today.
Yeah, I did. I really thought this was going to be 2 late game skating teams. It was going to be all about those 40-minute team fight decisions. But in the end of the day, Jackie Chan and the Chaperone really said no to that. Your Mumlol as well in that game number 1 with that Vladimir, providing that rock against that aggressive testosterone on the Jacks as well. Very nice play from him. But at the end of the day, Jackie Chan proving the monster in the jungle, backing up his teammates in the chaperone, having this tremendous lead in game number 2, really secured them the victory. 24 minutes on that second game as well, securing that Baron, just driving it home with those minions, securing away. And it's very difficult to draft these melee comps when you do fall behind in this early game. It just means that you don't have the cadence to be able to go in when you want, because it is so easy to turn that around. The Tristana was a nice pick, as you said. Jumping away from that Nocturne engage means that they aren't really a viable target for that one-shot potential. And well secured here for SmonkerZ to secure them the second win of the league here, coming in for 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, don't get too discouraged, though, if you guys are watching on the side of the Buckeyes. You guys played well. I think you guys got outdrafted in the second game. So bounce back, clear your mental, come back next week. We always appreciate you guys playing in Risen. And, without anything else to say, I think I've been tamed today. I believe we are good to go.
Yeah, guys. That was week 3 of Risen Esports here at the Dominate Premade League here. Very much looking forward to next week coming at you for week 4. My name is Victor, and we will see you next time.